thrilled to have you here today. As you all know, we are nearing our 1-year anniversary, or as we in science like to say, we have nearly completed our first journey around the sun. Almost a year ago today, actually September 20th, we announced that the Perot Museum, after years of planning and fundraising, would open ahead of schedule on December 1st, 2012. And what a year it has been. You may have also heard that back in July, the museum topped its 1 million visitor mark coming through the doors, a milestone that was reached much earlier than expected. In that million, it included over 200,000 students who participated in over 3,000 interactive museum programs through field trips and educational programming. And by the way, we also awarded financial aid to over 80,000 students from over 25 school districts. But learning isn't just for kids is the other thing that we know, and we've been thrilled to have hundreds of thousands of adults visit the museum, singles, empty nesters, couples on dates, teenagers, seniors, and retirees, because you can never get too old to learn. Hitting 1 million was a huge milestone for us, and we want to thank Dallas and the North Texas community for their incredible support. We knew there was a huge need for science education, and the response from the community has proved that to be the case. We also want to thank you, the media. Without you, we would never have been able to tell the story that we have been telling. And we appreciate the crucial role that you have played in getting the word out about the museum. So thank you all, not only for being here today, but for helping us spread the mission of inspiring minds through nature and science. We think that because of your support and our visitors' response, we think the word is definitely getting out. And the Perot Museum is beginning to be listed as one of the nation's top science museums. And that is really exciting. We've had visitors coming to see us from all over the world. All you have to do is ride up and down the elevators and talk to people, and you will hear tourists coming from everywhere, which has been so exciting for us. Our goal has always been to spark curiosity, to introduce new concepts, and to provide a different experience when our visitors return. We also want to draw visitors from, as I said, not only the region, but across the state, the nation, and the world. One way to do that is by bringing top-quality traveling exhibitions. With that in mind, we are thrilled to give you a sneak peek today of the Perot Museum's first ever traveling exhibition, Animal Inside Out, a Body Worlds production. Animal Inside Out is a remarkable exhibition, which I'm sure you all have already noticed, that has toured London, Vienna, and other top European venues. It is only making a limited tour in the U.S., and we are delighted to be the first location serving the South and the Southwest. Some of you may recall that the Museum of Nature and Science in Fair Park hosted the Body Worlds exhibition, the original one of real human bodies, back in 2006 and 2007. Did any of you come see that back then? Yes, some of you? It was awesome too. And that attracted hundreds and hundreds of thousands of visitors. So we are so thrilled to welcome back the Body Worlds organization to Dallas. I want to take a moment to acknowledge our sponsors. Bank of America is sponsoring our preview event for Animals Inside Out, and Greenberg Traurig is underwriting our educational scholarship. So we are so grateful to them. Thank you for your wonderful support. We are very excited to use our traveling exhibitions as a catalyst and a foundation to inspire our educational programming and activities. Here to tell you more about that is Steve Hinckley, our Vice President of Programs.
Thank you, Nicole. So when the original Body Worlds exhibit of human bodies was touring around the country, I was teaching physiology. I was in California teaching high school students, and I thought that that was the perfect platform to really bring them into a full understanding of the human body. As I used to tell them, your body is the only thing you ever truly actually own, and the ability to see it in this way, the plastinated way, directly in front of you is just unprecedented and so extraordinarily beautiful that I felt compelled to bring them to that. And every now and again I get that itch to get back into the classroom, and this exhibit certainly kind of gets me back to that point where I think how cool would it be to take my students and bring them through this type of exhibit. I think there are a lot of things that we're trying to communicate with Body Worlds Animal Inside Out. Part of it certainly is look at the extraordinary diversity and the beauty of life and how incredibly diverse it is. But then also starting to understand maybe a little bit more about ourselves, still understanding the human side of things, and of course there are some human-based specimens throughout here, but it's understanding that evolutionary connection, that very, very deep, deep connection to these organisms that are surrounding us. And this exhibit really presents them in such a fantastic and phenomenal way. It's not every day that I get to stand right next to a several hundred-pound bull that has been plastinated and positioned just so that I can see every single part of its structure. It's really, really extraordinary. We're thrilled to bring this exhibit to Dallas, and as Nicole said, The exhibit really will serve over the next several months as a launching pad for a lot of our great programs, and we will be targeting, as always, a full range of our audience for these particular programs, especially families, school groups, and also the adults that have really enjoyed coming to this museum over the last several months. For the families, one of the first things that's coming up is our Discovery Day in October. It's the second Saturday. The focus there is reptiles and other animals. We'll have a lot of collaborations with the Dallas Zoo. They'll bring some of their living critters here. And we'll also, of course, since it's October and Halloween, what event would be complete without an animal costume contest throughout the course of the museum as well. For the adults, we'll continue with our social science programs, which have been extraordinarily popular for the 21 and up crowd. That one is coming on October 4th, and then we have another one on January 17th. The focus of the January one is animated, and one of the things that I'm looking most forward to about that is having the Dallas Opera come through, and we'll compare the structure of the vocal cords of an opera singer to that of some of these different animals. You can see the voice box in many of these. There's an extraordinary view, actually, of a lion right near the end of the exhibit, and you can see, as Dr. Wally was pointing out yesterday, how the lion roars, and we can compare and contrast that to the structure of the opera singer as they are presenting their beautiful music. And of course, for the school groups, we will be working with teachers. We have created an educator's guide to support this exhibit, so for the teachers that are wanting to bring your students through, communicate with us first, and we'll be happy to give you an idea of how you can walk through this exhibit meaningfully and also connect it back to your curriculum in the classroom. And we also have a workshop for those educators on October 5th. It's a professional development opportunity for them to come through the exhibit and then also understand, again, how to connect what is here back into their classrooms. And then, as Nicole mentioned, the extraordinary sponsorship from Greenberg Traurig that allows students to come through this exhibit at no cost to them. It really is a remarkable thing. It's now my pleasure to introduce, we're very fortunate to have Dr. Angelina Wally with us. She is the conceptual planner and the creative designer of the Body Worlds exhibitions, which over the last several years have seen more than 40 million people worldwide. She's the director of the Institute for Plastination in Heidelberg, Germany. Early in her career, she pursued medical studies in Germany and eventually became a licensed physician. As an employee with the University of Heidelberg, preparing for a career in surgery, is when she met her future husband, Dr. Gunther von Hagens. And he, of course, is the inventor of the process of plastination that is responsible for all of these creatures here today. They married in 1992, and she became the director of the Institute for Plastination in 1997. She has worked with the University of Heidelberg, as well as a biomedical company called Perot Products, which is also managed by the Institute for Plastination, and we're extremely fortunate to have her here with us today. So it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Angelina Wally.
Thank you so much, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I also cordially welcome you to our media sneak preview here at Animal Inside Out. And first and foremost, it is really dear to my heart to express my appreciation for this museum. I have heard in advance that it is spectacular, but it is certainly beyond my expectation. And I'm really honored that the Perot Museum has chosen Animal Inside Out to be the first exhibition taking place here at the special exhibition area, and I cordially thank you, Nicole, to make that happen. And I'm sure you, together with your great team, you will make it a great success, equally as you did a couple of years ago with Body Worlds. We humans tend to be fascinated most by things we have never seen. And this is one major reason why Body Worlds has been so widely successful with almost 40 million visitors worldwide. To see firsthand what we are made of, how we tick, how our organs fit into the body and how they look like, that inspired so many people and even changed their lives. It should definitely change the view on themselves. And the exhibition back then mostly was, of course, human specimens. We were only able to include a very few animals, and we recognized how much visitors appreciated having this opportunity to really compare how similar we are underneath our skin. And so we continued plastinating also animal specimens in our labs. But it was not until 2010 until we had such a great collection of animals together that would allow us to set up an exhibition that is more or less exclusively focusing on animals. And Animal Inside Out now is the result. And our goal was, similar as with Body Worlds, to create an exhibition that fascinates people, that teaches them the beauty of nature and raises awareness, appreciation, and respect. We humans tend to be pretty selfish, and all too often we thoughtlessly exploit the world around us. And I strongly believe if we don't provide people with the proper knowledge about the beauty and the nature of these animals' characteristics, we cannot expect them to treat animals with respect and appreciation. And that exactly is our goal that we proceed with Animal Inside Out. When you're walking through the exhibition, you will be surprised about the diversity on one hand, but at the same time, how similar everything is. We all, for instance, need a scaffolding. In us, it's the skeleton, and in all vertebrates, of course. But it can also be outside, like in a shell or in a lobster. We all need muscles that make our bodies move. We all need a kind of controlling system, which is actually the nervous system. We all need energy in form of nutrition, but also oxygen. So we all have some organs that help us get oxygen and nutrition inside our body. So again, we are in very detail, very different, but in general, we are very, very similar. We are very pleased that we were able to cooperate over the many years with zoos and established veterinary programs and universities where we got all these animals from. So none of the animal on display was harmed or even killed for the purpose of this exhibition. All of these animals are plastinated. That means they are permanently preserved by a technology called plastination. That is a process that allows us to exchange a tissue water against a polymer like silicone rubber or epoxy resin. So almost all animals to a major extent contain water. We humans, for instance, almost 70%. And water is equally important for our lives, but at the same time for composition. And this water now is exchanged against the polymer, and this renders the specimen dry, odorless, and it also allows us to pose the specimen in a very lifelike position. And at the same time, it allows us to to show especially the muscular system to show them in function. So it's not just a dead-looking animal. And it is exactly that usually strikes people most. My sincere hope for Animal Inside Out here at the Perot Museum is to really inspire people and that they will leave the exhibition with respect and appreciation for all these wonders of nature. Thank you.